Some pivots happen because of opportunity. Others happen because something inside you refuses to stay the same. For Nancie, that moment came after more than a decade in teaching, a career that shaped her identity, gave her purpose, and yet quietly began to feel too small for the person she was becoming. What started as small classroom projects like postcard exchanges, traveling notebooks, international collaborations slowly grew into something larger, an instinct to connect, to create, and to reimagine learning itself. Today, Nancie has built an app, a space born out of the same spirit of curiosity and care. It is the natural evolution of who she has always been, a teacher who never stopped learning. So in this conversation, Jonathan Ong and I, Jonathan Chu, chat with Nancie about courage, the kind that doesn't announce itself, but builds quietly over years. We explore what it means to outgrow stability, to face fear with faith, and to design a life that is unfolding. This is Nancie's story, a story about finding freedom on the other side of familiarity and trusting that even when the next chapter isn't clear, it is still worth turning the page. Let's dive in. Hi Nancie, so happy to have you today with us. It is our third episode of the Pivot Lab podcast. How do you feel?
I'm excited and nervous at the same time.
Awesome. I mean, that's a great feeling to have. And John, we ready to rock and roll to host this session?
Let's get with it, man.
Awesome. So Nancie, how about let's start with where you are right now. We know that you have built an app. So let's start there. What does it do, and what inspired you to build your app?
Right. The name of the app is called Speak Up, and it basically is a speaking app for students who are sitting for their exam. It's based on the exam format. I've designed it such a way, and it is integrated with AI. Students will get immediate feedback from AI after they practice their speaking. That would help them to improve their speaking without having a teacher there. They can practice as and when they want. And I think that helps the students in terms of convenience, and it also helped the teachers as well tremendously, because my struggle was to give feedback to students. After a while, right, you feel like you're so drained listening to the same thing over and over again. And this has actually solved my problem, or many other teachers' problem, whereby we can only give that much feedback, But with the help of AI, students can actually benefit more with comprehensive, personalized feedback towards what they have spoken on a particular topic or what they should be improving on, because AI captures everything, whereas we can only remember so much as a teacher. So that is the limitation that we have. And I find that AI has been really helpful in that sense, and my students think the same as well. So yeah.
Awesome. And within just a short time of launching it, I understand that the number of users shot up to more than 1,000.
Yeah.
Walk us through it.
So in the first 4 hours of launching, I shared it with obviously my students and also the groups that I know of. And then people started testing it out. Actually, my friend even suggested me putting it on Xiaohongshu. And so we actually did. We put it on Xiaohongshu, and then people were commenting on it. Oh, is this reliable? Because at that point of time, I still didn't have my own domain. So it was some really weird webpage link, right? So I think in 24 hours, we had few hundred people logging in and trying it out. And then after that, when the teachers got to know about this app and they tried it out, they gave me a lot of good feedbacks. They really liked the feedback that is given by the app, and it really helped them. And recently, with the increase of influenza, some of the schools actually had to do remote learning. That means they have to do online teaching. So that app actually came in very timely, whereby the teacher could assign work for her students, and then they could just do it independently because there's feedback given at the end of the speaking practice. So yeah, I'm really happy that, it's not just helping my students, but it's also helping a lot more other students in Malaysia.
Nice.
Nancie, I just want to ask, what was the thinking that led you to deciding that, hey, I'm going to build an app and it's powered by AI to solve this problem, because it's not a very normal response to a problem. Normally, you're faced with this, you probably think, oh, maybe I'll try to get someone to help me. I'll try to delegate this. That's the usual way. But I'm just very
Yeah.
curious about the thought process that led you down this path to really building this whole thing and launching it.
Right. I have been facing this problem for quite a while, and I've always wished that someone would create, or like, is there a way to have this feedback given automatically or something to ease my work as a teacher? Because speaking is really very draining and it's very time consuming. When I'm doing speaking, basically my time is all taken up. I can't do anything because I have to be there, you see. So with that in mind for quite a while already. Then one day I have no idea how it came about, but I was just thinking, how do people build apps? You know, the thought just came like how people actually build apps. Where do they go? How to start? What even? I have zero clue. I don't know. I was led to go to YouTube and then I just searched how to build an app for a beginner. I literally just typed that. And the first video that came up was Replit, which is the app that I'm currently using, and I really love it because I have done quite a few things with it. So when I watched the video, it was a tutorial. They teach you how to use it. When I watched it, I was like, it is not as complicated as I thought it would be. Before this, someone actually tried to teach me coding, okay? And I gave up the moment I saw all the codes. I cannot. I just can't. And so like my brother does programming. I was like, how on earth can you do that every single day? I just cannot imagine. It's so stressful. I think because you need to be very detail oriented. Whereas I'm not a very detail oriented person. I'm a big picture person. Like I can see the beginning, the end. Okay, I'm done. I can do already. I don't go and scrutinize like, oh, is there a full stop here? Is there a comma here? The sizing. Oh, okay. I just can't do it. And I also cannot see. I don't have the eyes for it. Or maybe patience as well. So when I went and I was like, oh, okay, I think I can manage this. So let's try. After watching it, then I went to Replit and signed up. I had free credits, right? So I was toying with it. I was literally already building the things that I want to build, which is this speaking app. I was so sure of what I want to build. It wasn't like, what should I build? There was no trying. I just entered and I built until my credit finished. I still want to build. I'm not done yet. I was really excited and I actually spent so long in front of a computer, so focused, I didn't even get distracted by any messages, nothing. I was just literally fixated on that thing and I've just typed away only. That was when I was like, wow, this is really exciting. This is really fun. Then, since my credit finished already, so I kept quiet. Then I didn't know what to do. Then for a week, right, I was like, should I buy more credits? Should I invest in this? Should I pay for it? So for a week, I was like thinking, should I not? And then eventually, I gave in. I was like, you know what? I need to finish building this thing and I could use this. Because when I was building it, I already know what was the ending like. Because I knew what exactly I wanted to build. So in that sense, it was exciting for me. Because finally, I could actually build something that or solve a problem that I've been having for the longest time. And it was, if I can use the word liberated, I felt so liberated. It really opens up a whole new world. Like the moment I finished building it, I was like, wow, I actually finished building this. And that means I can build so many other things. Like I cannot sleep. And even if I sleep, when I wake up the next morning, I was with solution in my head. For a long time, I've not had that joy of looking forward to something. You wake up thinking about something that you so want to do. You wake up with that excitement, which I've not had for a long time. It was something new for me, which really made me alive again.
Absolutely, just love this. So I just want to unpack a few things because you covered quite a bit. But more importantly, what I love about what you shared is the essence of what Pivot Lab is all about, which is that you're solving a problem here and you're using AI or doing things that never before would we ever imagine it. Okay, so you're a teacher by profession, and to be able to build an app with no knowledge, or should I say that you have given up on learning how to code, and yet being able to build an app, I think that's just downright wow.
So now I can say, now if I can build, anyone can build.
Yep.
Anyone.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's the
And
essence of AI today.
Yeah.
I love the energy of like that fulfillment, right? That you get, like, okay, going to bed with a problem, waking up with the
Was so
solution in your head,
fulfilling.
right? Yeah, I did some of that in my life. I'm very inspired by the story.
Next, the other thing I wanted to draw out is the fact that you were very clear about the problem you wanted to solve. And that made the process of just building that app so much easier. It's great that these days we can already vibe code. And
I love it. I love vibe coding.
Yeah.
So fun.
yeah, I feel like we have a lot of people worried about what their future is going to look like. But just observing your journey, what is inspiring is that it didn't even cross your mind about what your teaching profession will look like in the future, right? You just focus on wanting to solve a problem and followed it all the way to the end. And I do think that there is a space for domain specific problems, because for you as a teacher, you knew very well what were the challenges in teaching, and no one else would be able to understand the potential solution as well as you do. So I thought that
Yeah.
was really exciting.
Yeah, so when I was able to build the app, right, in my head, I was thinking a lot of times there's a gap. You know the problem, but you can't solve it. Whereas the tech guy could solve it, but he has no idea what the problem is. So it's just
Yes.
based on hearsay, and then he just create it. But then that doesn't mean that it is going to be useful or user friendly for whoever the user is, you see. So when I think of where I am standing, having the problem and the solution together, wow, I tell you, it's mind-blowing. Now, whatever problem that I have, it feels like it's solvable. Now I can just solve it by creating an app. But I must say that whenever we want to build an app, it is so easy if you have that problem. So from that problem, you can design the app more easily rather than you try to create an app from thin air. You don't know what to create. So having problem for the first time is something that I look forward to. You know? Yes, give me problems. I need problems so that I can build. Without
That's so
problems, I
good.
can't build.
Yep.
Yeah, I like how you've grounded it on solving a problem rather than something that's in your head, right? There's an idea that you have. I think this idea will be great, but you're already fixated of this is a problem that I want to solve with that someone. And I think that's also shown in the amazing results it created. It's actually a very big deal that you got like 100 users, right, in such a short space of time, right? Can you tell us a little
Yes.
bit more about how people responded to it? What has happened since then?
People are using it, and when I actually shared it with my district officer, and coincidentally, at that point of time, there was a conference going on. There was an English conference going on, or was about to happen at that point of time. And so she actually encouraged me to sign up for that conference, go and present this app so that, I get more exposure to it, to which I don't mind trying. And so I just wrote and submitted the abstract. And the next day, I got the confirmation that I'll be presenting about this app. Fast forward a few days, the organizer actually called me and said that they were very intrigued by the app that I've built. Like, the question to me was, you don't have any tech background? You're a teacher? What do you teach? I'm like, I teach English. You're an English teacher and you built this app by yourself? And I was like, yeah. When I was presenting the app, or I was introducing the app, there were people outside. They were just hanging around. When they heard about the app, they were also looking through, trying to listen in to what I was saying or what I was presenting. And then after that, towards the end, they actually introduced themselves, and then they were telling like who they were. They are from companies that build education tools. So yeah, I actually get to talk to a few people. You know, like how I started off with just wanting to help my kids, like literally just to solve my own problem. Now I got bigger problems to solve. I had to think of it from a business perspective, like scalability and all these things are so new to me. I don't even have a clue. How am I supposed to improve this app? How am I supposed to get it to wider audience? How am I supposed to monetize this app so that it is self-sustained? Because I can't be paying it out of my pocket. So talking about that, I think for a month or a few weeks when I was testing out the app, you know, with API, you need to pay for the API and then you need to, because I was using AI, and then I also need to pay for Replit account, right? I was trying to like make sure it doesn't exceed my own budget because it's in USD. So it can actually add up quite fast. Now that I have the app, if no one's going to fund this app, I won't be able to sustain this and I won't be able to like, use it for long. Or maybe most I use it with my kids only. But then it's a waste because I know that other students would be able to benefit from it. And so I started finding funders. And lo and behold, a week in, I suddenly was reminded of this foundation that had helped my school when we were raising fund for to build a hall. And so I thought, you know, since this foundation advocate for education, I would try and ask if they are interested in funding this app. And so, yeah, they actually funded this app for me. Now there's one burden off my shoulder. I don't have to think of how to sustain this app because right now my only focus is to improve the app rather than me thinking of need to control the amount of people that's using the app. Because once like a class use, right, the search it just goes up so quickly. Because there's one time my usage finished, I get notification. I have a Telegram group whereby I get all the teachers to join it so that if they have any problems with the app, they can always text inside and I can help to solve the issue because you always have that with apps, right?
Just want to like pause and highlight some stats that you shared, right? Within 24 hours, you got 100 over users. Within a month, you got 1,000 over users. And then when the intention to get funding dawned upon you, within a week, you found somebody to fund you. I just want to echo what John was saying. This is crazy. Yeah,
I mean, like
it's
things were
results.
moving so fast. I don't even like.
I
I don't
cannot
even
breathe.
have
I really
time to
cannot
like
breathe.
process
Yeah, I
it. You know,
cannot
it was
breathe.
just like do. Okay, this is the problem. I solve it. This is another issue. Okay, I need to go and find money. So like,
I mean, let's
yeah,
put it into context,
I
right?
also cannot understand.
Yeah, let's put it into context, right? These are things, right, that maybe people who are in the industry, I mean, like in the respective industry, they want to set up their own startups, right? This is what they dream of, you know. They dream of like, you know, when they come together, say, we're a startup, you're going to like validate an idea, we're going to build this thing, and our hope is when we launch it, we're going to get how many users, right? And with the hopes that I will raise funds, the statistics is not in their favor.
I don't
lah.
have.
There's a lot of people who will fail.
Exactly.
Right? And these are people who are like got tech background, like got do some marketing,
Yeah.
like I want to do fintech. But then here we are, got
Yeah.
English teacher coming. Okay, I want to solve a problem. Then okay, I got 100 users, 1,000 users. Then it's like,
Yeah,
okay, 1 week I got
exactly.
funding.
She just like jollily walk into this scenario, right? Say, oh, I just feel like it, like, you know, oh, today I just feel like buying the detergent, and then suddenly, you know, done.
Yeah. So now what? You're Series C nowadays, is it? Raising funds already.
So you see, I don't have all this. I don't think things through like that. You know, all my life, right? When I have an idea to do things, I'll just go dive right in and just start doing. I don't have a long-term plan of planning how it should be, what it should be. For me, it's like, oh, that idea. Oh, that sounds like a good idea. Is it doable? Then I think for a while. Can I do it? Oh, yes, I think I can. So when I think I can, I'll just start doing it. Then after that, whatever problems that comes along the way, then I just solve it lah. But I've never like come across problems that was impossible to solve. Like, I've never. But the problem that always arises is myself, which is fear.
Okay. That's
For
interesting.
me, many times, many times, the things that stop me is only one thing, fear. That is the only thing that can stop me from doing things. Yeah. I've actually overcome a certain amount of fear. When I was younger, when I was in school, I dare not take any leadership role. I dare not take any responsibilities because I was so fearful that I cannot do it well. And what if there's problems that I cannot solve? And what if I make a fool of myself? So that was me when I was in secondary school. So I was like that throughout. So I have never held any big post until when I was in Form 5. The post kind of like was thrown to me. I have no choice but to take it because my teacher doesn't give me any option. So yeah, it has always been that fear that stopped me from doing. But once I actually overcame that fear, then it shifted me to being the version I am now, which is, okay, so what if there's problem? We can always solve it. But then as I overcome this fear, I also know that there are bigger fears that I need to overcome. But because I've already overcome this and I acknowledge the fear that I have, now that I'm old enough to rationalize and to see the things that are the fears that I have rational? Is it logical? If it's not, then I would talk myself out of it, or I would just face it head on. The fear is still there lah, but I know I need to move. So I won't let the fear to cripple me to a certain extent lah, I would say.
So how do you do that then? Like, because the fear is like real, right? It can be all encompassing, it can be overwhelming. So how do you guide yourself to move into action then?
First, I whine a lot. So my friends would be victims of that. I would whine, and I'm sure you've seen how I whine. And I would repeatedly say that I'm scared and say that no, I can't, no, I this, no, I that. But I get it all out of my system. And then I see what are my options and is it doable. Then I start, I think, talking to the right people is important. Then second, you sit down and think, what are you truly fearful of? Are you fearful of the problem, or are you fearful that your ego will be bruised? What exactly am I fearful of? And okay, is there any way that I can work around this fear? It doesn't mean that, oh, I eliminate the fear, then I move. The point is, I know that I don't want to be in this situation. And I know that if I don't want to be in this situation, I need to move. And if I need to move, what am I supposed to do? I would talk like that to myself. And also, funny enough, recently my ex-student, she was so fearful of furthering her studies. So she finished her Form 6. She's one of those students I was close to because I was teaching her. And then after that, I moved back to Malacca, but she's in Kemaman. We still keep in touch. She was telling me that, I'm working now. I said, where are you working now? Then she's like, I'm working in a bookshop. What are you doing in a bookshop? I was disappointed because she has so much potential. And what are you doing in a bookshop? Like, go and further your studies. You don't have money, is it? Then after that, she's like, no, actually, I'm very scared. What if I cannot make it? What if, I cannot finish my studies? Then I'll waste money. And, I could have used the money for my younger sister and things like that. So she's just telling me, I say, no. You can finish and you will finish. Okay? Whatever fear that you have, you just go and register first, So
One
if
step at a
I
time.
were to tell her like that, I need to walk the talk. I cannot be telling her not to fear and then I'm fearful, right?
100%.
So these are also how I force myself to move. Because if I tell someone, I know I'm accountable for it. I'm accountable to what I say. And because I've already said that to her, now I also need to do what I've said and to face my fear, So I also tell her honestly, and I said, you have your fear, I also have my fear. I'm fear of doing things. I didn't tell her fully what I was fearful of, but I told her I also had fear and I am also facing it. I am also trying to break free from the fear that I have. So I understand the fear that you have. although it's different thing, but it's the same. The root cause is fear, right? So I gave her a timeline. I said, you need to register by this date. If you don't register, you're not going to do it. For sure, you will just delay it. I keep checking on her to make sure that she actually register to further her studies. And she actually got two options. One is a nursing course. Another one was TESOL. So I was asking her, so which one did you choose? Then she's like, I think I would go for TESOL. Good job, man. Good job. I'm so proud of you. So I was telling her, if you need any help, I can help you. You need books, I have plenty of books that I can send to you. So yeah, that I find that helps me to push myself to get out of where I don't want to be. And I think that is very effective on me because I myself don't like people who tell one thing but do another thing. So I don't want to be that kind of person that I don't want to be. And so what I do is, because I've done it a few times and I feel that it works on me. That's why I feel having an accountability partner is very, very effective. Of course, you need to have a group or circle of community that would be there to support you. And I'm very thankful that I have, right? So yeah, that's how I move. I wouldn't say that I am off the fear. Fear is always going to be there, I know. But so if it's going to be there, how am I going to work around it? So that's how I actually overcome my fear, which is say what you're fearful of. Just make it known, and when it is known, actually sometimes when you say it out loud, right, it's not that scary as when it is in your head, right? When it's just in your thoughts. And then I tell you, the mind can just go so creative in instilling fear, right?
Yeah, I find it really, really fascinating that I don't know. It's when in sharing a story, right? I picked up all the gems. It feels like as if it's like a framework or a process, that maybe for you is like very instinctive, right? But I felt that as a very analytical, step by step person, right? I found it very fascinating, and what I observed was like the first, okay, number one, no matter what, give me my space to whine first, right? Let me get the energy out first, right? I find that this is something that is very fascinating because our first instinct is, and maybe this is also like our Asian upbringing, it's like, no, this is how you suppress. Please suppress, don't show it. You're weak. If don't cry. No, but your first instinct the other way now, very counterintuitive. No, whine first. Don't play victim lah. But no, whine first. Okay, then you give yourself the space. You can let your energy out. Find your safe space. The circle, the people won't judge you. And then like, oh, please lah. Then your friends are like, the pattern start again. Never mind, we listen to her. But I found it amazing. So that it shows that okay, you got a find your support system, create the safe space for yourself, let it out first, right? Judgment free. Have a judgment free zone to whine about it first, right? And then you set the context very clear. I'm just want to whine first, right? And then the second thing I found that very counterintuitive, right, is that normally people when they face the fear, right, first instinct is to avoid. I don't want to face this fear. Can I go and distract myself or do something, scroll phone, procrastinate? It's a very normal reaction. But what you did was very fascinating. You went into curiosity mode. You're like, I want to face it. And said, maybe you were trying to name it. But what I observed, right, was curiosity. It was like, actually, like, what is the fear really all about?
Yeah.
You went to confront it, right? And you're like, if I can find out what is the thing that and it's not just like I find out, then what, it's like if I can find out what that thing I'm really fearful is all about, dive deeper, right? Then the next question was like, can I do something about it? I always heard that you always follow that through with, can I do something about it? It always lead to some sort of action taking. Like, and it always tells me that, oh, you're looking for something that's within your control. All right. Then the next step would be, okay, can I find the right people? If I can take the next step, right? Who are the people I can reference, ask for help, a support system, right? And then finally, right, you have the accountability to yourself, there's the last part, right, to trigger you. Like now you already whine already, okay, you cleared out the system, you identify the thing you're fearful about, you try to find the people, right? Then it's okay. You done through all the work of the reflection, right? And now it's time to take action, right? You attach your identity to it. And you attach identity to values, your value. And your value was that I identify as a person who is high integrity, And honestly, if I want people to say what I want them to do, I got to walk the talk. I am a role model and I'm a teacher and I should walk the talk. And therefore, I will also have that accountability on myself because I identify as that person. And you use that strong sense of identity of yourself and the values to move forward. And I just thought that as a kind of like framework, right? I said, wow, it's amazing that you can just package that up and say, this is how I will actually, a framework to overcome fear.
Oh, I never thought of it like that. I've never let you actually frame it like step by step what I actually did. But I must say that it is because of how I've avoided it last time. Remember, I told you when I was in secondary school, how I avoid at all costs. I don't want to be a leader. I am fearful of this, I'm fearful of that, and I just ignore everything. So again, I must say, going to UK really, really did something to me. Because that was then my mind shifted. Because I guess like when after I finished my secondary school and then after that when I went to college and UK, right? Somehow I don't know where I picked it from, but I like to observe things. And when I observe, I don't observe just what you say. I observe the thought behind what you say, your intention. So I observe that. And somehow from there, if you want to say like I don't know if I can use the word I psycho myself. I actually do psycho myself. Like if let's say I don't want to be certain thing or like I don't want to be who I don't want to be, then I would tell myself certain things that will not get me there. That I will, no matter what, no means no. I don't want to go there. And so I think that is how I apply it to facing fear because I've already seen how it was like for me last time. And it did not lead me anywhere. I did not grow as a person. Although, yes, I was still very young at that point of time, but there was no growth. It was just, how can things be easy for me? How can things be convenient for me? And when I've overcome the fact that, hey, actually, problem is not that bad. Things that are difficult is not as bad as what I thought it would be. And it can be done. And I've shown myself that it is done. And was it that difficult? It wasn't. And so I think from there, it actually left an impression for myself. And that's how I always would go back to that every time when I feel there's certain things that I need to overcome. Then I'll tell myself, hey, you have already overcome so many things. This is just going to be another one thing that you need to overcome. As long as you are fine with being uncomfortable, you are fine with doing difficult things, you just pull through. You just consistently go on until you make it. I think that really helped because that is that thing that I want. I want to be someone who is strong, that's not easily shaken. And so I kind of, you want to say, teach myself, train myself. I know that at the end of the day, I want to be that person. And so I guess that was my motivation, why I want to overcome all this.
And as a teacher, like you would see so many students day in, day out, right? And would it be fair to say that the majority of students typically do not know the kind of person they want to become?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I was once in their shoe. I also don't know what I want to be, right?
Right.
And I mean, that is not the issue. I'm fine with them not knowing what they want because I was like that too. I can't judge them for not knowing what they want because it's not easy to know what you want at such a young age when you have so little exposure to things, right? I mean, okay, now you have social media and things like that, but that's aside the point. And for me, I've always tell them that, just go and try whatever it is, but just don't break the law. You never know what it is going to lead you to. And okay, so what if it's wrong, right? If you make mistake. Like for example, they're very fearful of speaking in front, doing presentation. They are super extremely fearful. But I have this one kid. That was when I was doing my practicum. Then I was just a teacher trainee. So this class that I was teaching, this is the first class. This is not even the back class. This is the first class. And this boy, he doesn't want to present. Or even if he present, he just cincai only. So I just told him that, if you don't make the mistakes now and you are afraid of people laughing at you, do you know that when you go to university, there's presentation every other week? And do you want them to laugh at you then? Or you want your friends to laugh at you now? You think it's better to be laughed at when you are in college, when you're older, So that kind of, I don't know what switch flipped in his head, like in his mind, okay? But after that, he really took it seriously and he presented. And then fast forward, now he's a doctor.
What?
Wow,
Yes.
wow.
So one day he just texted me. He said, "Teacher, thank you that, you encouraged me to present in class. Now I see the benefit of it." So it's how to say, it's messages like that I get, that I am so touched lah when he said that, that it makes teaching so fulfilling. But now I don't know what is fulfilling anymore with teaching. I don't find the joy that I had the last time. Over the years, I've always tried to do different things, not just for my students. It is very nice sounding lah. It's very noble. I'm doing this for my students so that they can improve their English, so that they get better exposure. Okay, fine. But actually, it's also what's in for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of times when I was in Kemaman, you know how Kemaman is? If I were to teach, I think I would be bored to death, right? So it's really about finding something that also excite me, not just benefit the students, but how can I make it exciting for myself to teach so that I don't feel burnout. I don't feel like it's a dread, right?
Speaking of that, I remember you were also sharing that there was another very exciting point in your career, right, in Kemaman, where you actually had a different project, right? I think it's the traveling notebook project. Could you tell us more about that?
Oh, yes. That is one of my favorite projects. So it started off with wanting my students to use English. So you see, it's always from a problem. It stems from a problem. My project is always to solve problems. So I actually started off with writing a letter impersonating someone foreign. So I wrote the letter myself. Then I go to the class and I actually read the letter. And I lied to my kids and said that, hey, my friend actually wrote you a letter, because they know I study overseas. So it's not something that they would doubt me. So they know that I have friends overseas. It was a letter of introduction, getting to know them and things like that. Their job is to reply the letter. They got so excited. All this is in Kemaman. They replied the letter and then I was like, now I got a new problem. I cannot continue lying, right? I don't have the time to write letters to all of them. I have 30 over kids. How am I supposed to
Oh my
write
goodness.
letters to each one of them? So I'm like, okay, now how am I supposed to solve this problem?
You
Then
need
I
catfishing the
started
students
going
ni.
on Instagram.
Yeah, catfishing the students.
Then I went to Instagram. I was looking for a pen pal. Please, someone please help me. I just randomly texted her. I said that there was an email there, the email address there. So I emailed her. I was like, are you interested in writing letters to my students? There are 30 of them. And
Wait,
it
who
would
was this
mean
again?
the world to me if you were to write them letters. I actually didn't expect her to write letters to each one of them. I was just expecting her to write one letter and respond to all of them. So I was like, can I send all these letters to you? And then you have a read and then after that you respond. And she's like, oh yeah, sure. I was like, sure? Okay, let's do this. I don't even know her. So that's how it started. And then whenever there's any projects that she find online, so one of which is the one that you mentioned just now, the traveling notebook, which is so new and I've never heard of before. I am the kind of person that if I want to do something, I want to do something that is different. I want to do something that people has not done it before. So for me, that is like, wow, this is so new, so foreign, so interesting. So I'm like, I want to do this. I did. And that traveling notebook is basically one teacher would organize. She actually posted it on Instagram and to see who saw the post and interested in collaborating. So my friend sent it to me. So the pen pal sent it to me and said that, are you interested in this? I said, oh yes, definitely. I wrote to that teacher in Spain. The countries that were involved in that project was China, Malaysia, Spain, Canary Island, and another country I don't remember where already. Russia. Basically, these 5 countries, we will all each have a notebook. You're supposed to talk about your particulars, your culture, food, clothing. You share about basically your tradition, your country, anything, place of interest. So it's very aligned to the curriculum, something that is very interesting, something that could improve their English because they are forced to use English. The only common language that these 5 countries has is English. They know if they write Bahasa Melayu, nobody's going to understand them. So they will ask me, like, teacher, how to say this in English? Teacher, how to say this? So I busy translating only. The rest, they are very motivated to do this. And it took a year plus to finish because you have from one country to another country. For example, you probably take 2 weeks to finish off the project. And then to send it to another country, it takes another 2 weeks to reach, you know. The notebook will travel to 5 countries before it come back to Malaysia. The students get very excited when they finally receive their notebook. And so that was for my kids. For me, because of the project that I organized or I participated in, it actually landed me with a scholarship to go to US. And with that scholarship, I actually met the pen pal that I randomly wrote to. So it came
Wow.
a full cycle.
Wow. That's
And
amazing.
it was just
Wow.
so amazing. Like from a stranger to a friend. And I met her in New York and we spent 4 days together. She brought me around and just spending time with her. It's just so amazing how small things can lead to such things that I've never imagined it to be like that. You know, it was just really just doing it to make my life interesting in Kemaman. Yeah.
Yeah.
And also to
Yeah.
make my kids' life a bit more fun.
Started
And
with the
then
first step of discovery. Yeah. I love that.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So never underestimate small beginnings. It really is.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah. I like that.
So actually,
Really.
yeah,
You
I love
never
that.
know where it leads you to. And having experienced it myself, I feel that, whatever it is, just start. Really, just start. Don't think so much.
Nice. Nice. You're actually going to I was actually going to ask you, what is one advice you would give somebody who is standing at a similar position where you are? For example, they may be craving for change, but they're just afraid, right? Be it afraid of losing security or looking bad or whatever it is, right? I wanted to ask you about one advice, but I guess you're one step ahead of me to give that advice.
I
Yeah.
still
And
feel that I am fearful. It's not that I'm not fearful. It's just that, okay, there's one side of me that's fearful. There's another side of me that's excited as well. And so
Yeah.
I go on with the excited self and I leave the fearful self behind. You can be fearful all you want, but you know what? I'm still going to do.
Yeah.
Okay? What risk do I lose? Of course, I do the calculated risk. The things that I want to pursue, I don't think it's risking anything or what. So why you want to stop yourself from doing? As long as it's not risking, it's something that's not too risky. I think it's worth pursuing, and you never know who you're going to meet, what you're going to do, or what you're going to discover. With this app, I discovered that I can build an app. So
Yeah.
that is
Wow.
another thing that I can venture.
Yeah. I just find that this advice is so relevant, regardless whether you're a student or even you're a professional midway through your career, right? And if you
Yeah.
ever feel fearful being stuck in a particular position, maybe it's a particular course you're in, maybe it's a particular career that you've invested many years in, and if you're brave enough to take that first few steps to just do it, just discover, or make calculated risk. If it's not a big risk, go and try new things and you see where it leads you. If you don't like it, fine, but if it
Yeah,
comes out something
at least
magical,
you
you'll look
tried it.
back. Yeah, and look like today you have amazing stories to tell about your app. You have amazing stories to tell about your traveling notebook. I think that's really amazing and very inspiring for someone, whether not just students or even like a professional.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, before we get to the very exciting lightning round, right, the one last question I have for you, just to wrap up this discussion that we have, which is what's next for you, right? You have this app, you already have funders, you have more users coming on board to use the app. Yeah, what's next?
I'm actually building the second app. which is called Right Away. The concept is pretty similar to Speak Up. It's just that this is more for, okay, you want to say teachers, it's also for students. So students can, if they are motivated enough to write on their own and they want feedback fast, they can use the app to write, send in, and then they'll get immediate feedback. And then as for teachers, you can say goodbye to marking because the app is going to help you to
Wow.
mark. So that's the dream. That's the dream. Okay? So that's my problem to solve now. So now I'm obsessed with problems. Like, give me problems. See whether the app can solve it or not.
Love it.
I love the
Yeah,
mentality, you
so
know,
I
it's like,
mean,
give me
like,
problems.
Right? Yeah, give me problems. Who says that, right? Typically, people say, don't give me problems, give me solutions.
yeah. So well, I don't know like where this is going to lead me to, but what I know for sure is that this is an exciting season for me. And then
Yeah.
with Pivot Lab even, having seen like a lot of my friends are also taking this path of like, okay, you know what? I'm going to quit my job and do something that I want to do. So it's like a few of my friends are doing this also. Like they just quit or they think of quitting. They want to do something else. So I'm very happy and glad and grateful that, I'm not in this alone. It is even more daunting to be walking in this path alone. You don't just feel lonely. Sometimes you second guess yourself. But, if you're in a company of people who's doing the same thing as you, who's leaving, who's not sure, people are just doing their own thing, then we can all empathize on each other and like know the struggles that we face. And when doing it together, I feel like it's so much more fun than feeling fearful or daunting or all the negative feelings that you would have, when starting something new. So
Wow.
yeah,
You
find
just give me an
your
idea.
tribe, man.
Maybe you should
Find your
do
tribe.
maybe you should do a segment like wine and wine together. So we drink wine and then we wine together.
Oh, I like that. I like that.
Wine
Right?
and
Wine
wine.
and wine. Then
Wow.
after that,
Oh yes,
support
that
group.
is
Then we're like,
nice.
now next
I like
community
it.
hangout, guys. Let's do it.
I love it. I love it.
Wine and wine.
And
Yes.
yeah, we should, right?
Yeah, that's a very nice
We let's go and
idea.
IP it first.
Awesome. So with that, right, we have come to our very exciting lightning round.
Yes.
So how it's gonna work is that spontaneity. We'll ask you a question, whatever pops into your mind, we'll just roll with it. Cool? All right. So the first one, right? What is one book, podcast, or even a quote that's currently guiding you right now?
I think it would be the author of Daring Greatly by
Mm.
Brené Brown. She's also she talked in TED Talk before, and she's actually a researcher, but she has very, very good storytelling skills. And I really love listening to her and how she advocates vulnerability and how to be courageous in doing the things that you believe in. And so she's really inspiring, and I enjoy listening to her, and to just, when I listen to her, I feel very motivated. And yeah, so that's the one book. I've
Nice.
not, honestly speaking, I've not read the book, but I've listened to her podcasts and like her talk shows.
Yeah. And talking about that, it reminded me of one quote that she used that is very relevant
Theodore
to us
Roosevelt, right?
by, yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
love that one.
I love that quote. So maybe for the benefit of our listeners, let me just read it out because I just Googled it while you shared about it.
Yes,
And this
yes.
quote goes, "It is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the
Arena.
arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly." I just love it.
That
Yeah.
is basically the essence of what Pivot Lab is.
Yes. Yes. Just dare greatly, right? If it
Yes.
works, fantastic. If it doesn't, you get a great story.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yes. And on that note, the next question for you is, what is one failure you're now grateful for?
Okay, I think the failure, I wouldn't put it as failure, but rather, just now when I was telling or sharing about the fear that I had when I was in secondary school, I think I am grateful that it happened to me at a young age. And somehow I was able to use that to reflect and to be a better self, if I can say that. To be a better version of myself now after reflecting on what I was before. And I know that I don't want to be that kind of person. So I do whatever it takes to not go back or fall back to that comfort zone, to wanting things easy for the sake of easy, but to want to make an impact or a difference in people's life. And so if I can say that as a failure, then yeah, that is the one thing that I'm grateful for.
And the last question is a word that captures the pivots, or if I may, all the exciting projects that you have attempted.
Wow, a word that captures, don't know, I have so many words.
All right, just lay them down. Right, what comes to mind?
No words. Really no words. It's just too amazing to even have a word for it.
Or a phrase, perhaps?
The words is no words.
Or maybe amazing. It's just
Okay,
pure amazing.
I think it's really what I said just now. Do not despise humble beginnings. Really, I think that encapsulate the experiences that I've gone through, because I'm not the kind that take the time to think so long to move. I need to attribute it to my impatience. I don't have patience. I want to do things. I just want to do. If anything were to go wrong, solve it. So
Nice.
that's
Yeah, I love
Yeah.
that, Haji.
Yeah. So to wrap it up, one last one for you, which is if people want to check out your app, where can they go and how can our listeners be helpful to you in your journey?
Okay, if talking about the app, so you can find my app in myspeakupai.com. So that's the link to my app. And then how it would be helpful, share it. Maybe leave comments, reviews. That would be very encouraging. I don't mind if you give me useful critiques that can help me to improve my app. I don't mind at all. I'm not looking for all the fancy good stuff only. But if you think it's genuinely helpful for you, then thank you very much. Yeah, follow us.
Give you problems in your comments. Give you more problems to solve in the comments.
Oh my God, John. Love it.
Oh, okay, that too, maybe. Yeah.
Ask and the universe will give you
More problems to solve.
Probably I should take that back a bit. Not to solve so many problems. Later I overwhelm with
dial it back.
problems. Then I'll need to have more sessions of wine and wine.
Ooh.
looking
Awesome.
forward.
Cool. And with that, we come to the end of this episode. Thank you very much for sharing about your projects, your journey, the wisdom that you have gotten along the way. And more importantly, to remind us that to never be judgmental, or rather to embrace and be okay with humble beginnings. Never
Yes.
despise them. Take action.
Yes,
Yeah.
take action. And wine. Don't forget to wine.
Find your
Wine is
tribe. I think that's the
important,
one you
okay?
were
That's
saying.
the first step to get it out of your system.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you so much, Nancie.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Nancie.
Thanks for tuning in to the Pivot Lab podcast. We hope today's story gave you both inspiration and insight, something you can carry into your own next move. If you found this episode valuable, please subscribe to us on YouTube and Spotify, and follow us on Instagram and Substack for the latest episodes, content, and tools to help you design what's next. And if you know someone who could benefit from this, share the love. Most importantly, let's stay connected. We've got more stories, strategies, and blueprints coming your way. Until next time, keep going. Your next chapter is already unfolding.